Hey, what's up, Reefers? Today's video is about things that haven't been going right in my tank. I'll show you some things that are going on in the SBS tank and also my frag tank that I was sort of disappointed in myself in. And also I'll be doing a general update on all the tanks as well for the month of July. Stay tuned. So before I get started, I wanted to give a shout out to the folks over at Reef to Reef. Reef to Reef is an awesome online forum at reef2reef.com. And there's a lot of information there, and there's a lot of people to help you out with your reefing. And there's a lot of giveaways and such, so I highly recommend Reef to Reef. That's actually where I wanted to start with my SBS tank, because I was having an overheating issue, and I usually didn't have that issue, and I noticed that it was with my UV sterilizer. So I was thinking of just turning the pump off and the light off during the day and just having it run at night when the lights weren't on. But that just didn't seem to work out, because then I'd have to manually tune my return and everything, and I didn't want to keep messing around with that. So there was a little post on there about fans and other things to cool your tanks off, and I'm like, I don't have a fan on this tank, duh. So I installed a fan on the tank, and it's been running great ever since. So Peace River, thank you very much for that post. It's working wonderfully for my tank, and you know, it's just one of those things that you don't think about until somebody posts it and you go, oh wow, yeah, duh. So I appreciate that very much. So if you're a new or experienced hobbyist and you're not already on Reef to Reef, I highly suggest you sign up for a free account today. There's a lot of awesome giveaways on there. There's a lot of industry experts, and you can even find me on there if you want to talk to me as well. All right, let's have a look at these tanks and see where I goofed up. I got a road to recovery, but it's not too bad, but let's take a look. All right, here's the SBS tank. As you can see, I've cleaned a lot of the coralline off the glass, and it looks a lot better. So the first issue that I'm noticing is there's not much polyp extension on this acropora. I did check my phosphates and my nitrates, and my phosphates are pretty much bottomed out. So I'm going to try some neophos and see if that helps. Also, this Disney is looking pretty muted too. It's turned more to a yellow color than the color it used to be. And this green Slimer has a low polyp extension as well. So I'll try boosting the phosphates up and dawing the lights down a little bit and see if that helps. I've also noticed some coral warfare going on right here. So I'm running some carbon and see if that'll help too. As you can see, this monopora is getting nailed from all sides. That Pavona and Leptocerus, they're all just attacking it. So that could be causing an issue, and I'll see if the carbon helps. And moving along, everything else is doing pretty good. The Leptocerus is doing really good. Pocillopora is doing better than I want it to. It's spreading everywhere, so I got to start trimming some more of that back. But everything else is doing pretty good, so that's why I'm not too worried about it. Just going to tweak one little thing at a time, maybe add some phosphate to the tank. The nitrates have been around 24. That's where they usually run, so I don't think that's an issue. And then this monopora down here keeps getting covered in sand, so I'm going to remove some of that sand and maybe put it on the other side of the tank. And then this Monte cap here is doing okay, but it's starting to get covered up by this Monte right here, this Montipora digitata. You can see it's growing over it right there, which is pretty neat. And I trimmed back that Pocillopora finally, so hopefully this Montipora right here will get some more light, and I can start growing back the way it used to be. It's been shaded for a long time, so I'll see what happens. Maybe if it doesn't make it, I'll put some more acros in there or something, but I think it'll bounce back okay. But yep, now the temperature swing's fixed, so I'm just working on one little thing at a time, but all in all, not too bad. I just want to stay on top of it so nothing really bad happens. And on to the LPS SBS frag tank. This tank, I'm sort of embarrassed to myself, because what happened was I turned the lights down a while ago, and I don't remember why I turned them down, but I left them down for so long that the acropora started to brown out, and I actually lost some LPS in here too. I lost a couple hammers. I'll show you that in a minute. They're starting to fade out, but I lost a couple other ones. So I'm slowly ramping the lights back up, and I'm making sure everything's good with the water, but that just sort of disappointed myself with that. I just got so caught up with things, and instead of putting it on the acclimation mode like I should have, I just adjusted it and forgot about it. So as you can see, there's some of the hammers right there that are not going to make it, but I'll slowly but surely get things back in here, and I'm not going to add any more coral to this tank right now. But as you can see, it's not all bad. A lot of the corals are doing okay. It's just a few of them that didn't quite do so well, but these guys right here in particular are doing really good. I had to separate them from everybody because they were stinging everybody. These acans, they're doing okay, but I got some bubble algae I got to take care of. I don't know where all this bubble algae came from. It just came from out of nowhere because I didn't used to have anything in this tank. So I'm going to have to clean up the bubble algae and take care of some of those frags. So that's a beach bum right there, believe it or not. It actually got buried halfway in sand from the SBS tank. So I put it in here to recover, but like I said, the light was tuned down so much that it shifted color to green. And here's some of the other SBS, the acros. They pretty much browned out on me, as you can see, which isn't a huge deal. It's just it's going to take a few months for them to get back to their color, what they used to be. And there's some more of them that are browned out. To give you an example of what the lighting was on, it's a A360X Kessel. I had it on 35%, which is probably around 100, maybe 120 par. So it's not a very high light. It was probably just enough to keep them alive, but they lost their color big time, so I gotta get them back. But how fun would reefing be if everything was perfect every day? Just gives me another challenge to work on. All right, and here's the softy slash LPS tank, I guess you could call it. It's my original frag tank. These are the mushrooms that were out of the 36-gallon bow front. This rock just exploded with mushrooms, and this one was starting to as well. So I took them out of the tank, and I'll show you that in a little bit. This got still some issues with something gnawing on some of these corals. I haven't seen anything in the tank, but I've been keeping a close eye on things like the Cephastria and that I was having issues. And I think this mushroom is actually attacking this Favia right here. As you can see that, I didn't know that was possible, but I guess so. And moving on to Nemo and the Zoas. Those are looking awesome. Nemo likes to bite me now when I put my hands in the tank. It's pretty neat. He's growing up a little bit. There's some of the GSP. I always have some of that on hand to give it to new reefers. And I think I'll be giving some of those mushrooms away too. And then there's all the different assortment of Zoas that I have. They're doing pretty good. I'm starting to get bubble algae in this tank too. So I gotta watch out for that and clean up the frags. And the Zoas are growing over the rack. And there's some of the leathers from upstairs too in the 36-gallon. But yeah, as you can see here, the Zoas are growing everywhere. They're growing off the plugs onto the rack, and I got bubble algae on some of them, and it's just, you know, a tedious task of keeping up on all of them. And here's something that's pretty neat. I thought I lost all this. I think it's Frammer. It could be frog spawn. But I thought I lost all the heads, and then I seen all these little baby heads growing. So I was like, oh, cool. It's you know, growing back a little bit. So I'll see what happens with those. There's that Cephastria I was talking about. It's starting to bounce back. But all in all, it's kind of, you know, it's a mixed bag here, but not too bad. A little challenging for some things, but I'll take care of it. And on a Puffy's tank. There's the new fish right there. I haven't named it yet. I'll probably be doing a contest to name the fish in a future video. I just don't know how I can do that yet, but just be thinking of names for this fish if you would. Everybody else doing pretty good. There's Leonidas. Leonidas is huge. He's over a foot long. But everybody's doing really good in this tank. I added coppermine, so just as a precaution. But so far, I haven't seen anything on anybody. Foxface Brownie got his tail bit. I think that was by the new angelfish there. And there's Bandit swimming back and forth, cruising along. Yeah, I just don't know what to name this fish yet. If you could think of a name. And there's Bandit spitting out the sand on everybody. It was probably Puffy. There he is right there. He's spitting the sand on Puffy. Puffy's just chilling on the rocks right now, just kind of watching everybody. He's probably camera shy today. So far, everybody's doing good in this tank. I haven't seen anything on anybody other than just little bit fins here and there, but everybody's getting along for the most part, and I don't see anything on anybody. So if you can think of a name for this fish, just keep that in mind. There might be a future contest involved. And on to the 36-gallon bow front. As you can see, all the cyano's gone. It was actually green cyano. If you watched last month's video, I put a couple more coral in here and I took some coral out. But this tank's coming around. I wasn't too worried about it to begin with. It was cyano in the tank and the coral were all doing okay. But I'm going to start giving this tank a little more attention because this is my oldest tank. It's over 5 years old. I've just changed it a lot over the years. A lot of the original coral aren't even in this tank anymore. So the next things I'm working on is there's a little bit of bubble algae in this tank. For some reason it seems to be popping up in all my tanks. And I also have some hydroids in here, some colonial hydroids. So I'm going to see if I can take care of those. I'll have to manually pull them out or maybe find something that'll eat them. And my poor 6-line wrasse, he must have bumped his eye. He's got a bulge on his eye. I don't know if it's Popeye or what, so I'll be keeping an eye on that. And if I have to, I'll put him in the quarantine and talk to somebody and see what kind of medication I need to put him in if I need to do so. But yeah, I think I'll bring this tank back to what it used to look like. This is the tank that's upstairs in my home, so my family gets to enjoy this tank more than anybody because it's not in my reef cave downstairs where I hang out most of the time. So I think I'll make it look nice for the granddaughter and my kids and stuff, and just turn it around and make it look like it used to. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Reefer Matt, and I make these videos to share my reefing with you. I'm not looking to be a YouTube star or anything like that. This is just sort of a side hobby of my hobby, and I'm always about reefing. I'm always about the share and help others. So if you have anything that you want to share with me as well, please feel free in the comments below. Well, that'll do it for this video. I'm Reefer Matt. Thank you for watching and happy reefing.